Alright, welcome back to the shop. The wrench that I did the other day was the Roberts wrench, and sometimes when I'm out here tinkering around in the shop, I'm just looking to relax and sort of wind down. I go to work and, I get paid to deal with problems, and I'm relatively good at it. So I go in there, I deal with problems all day long. When I get home, these are more mundane tasks. These are just something for me to work on, and it's not like a problem. It's not a bad problem. It's just, it's a task, and it's relatively mindless. But, it's not completely mindless. I would say that my video, the first video of this, was mindless in the sense that I didn't do my research. I just grabbed a tool and started restoring it. And to do a proper video, if you go and watch, Scout Crafter or 357 Magdad or any of these people that are tool historians and real tool aficionados, if you will, the amount of homework that they do in the background, the amount of research and the editing and the knowledge that they sort of bring to bear in their videos is really, it's amazing. It really is amazing to me, the amount of effort that goes into what is often a 4, 5, 6 minute long video. And here I have these these marathon length 20-minute videos and stuff. But anyway, all that goes to show is that I felt bad about making this video because I sort of glossed over some stuff. I did this sort of, if you were on a desert island and had to make do, this would probably be sufficient. But I'm not. I can order the right parts for it, and I should have given you a little bit more history about it. So what you typically do is one of the best resources that's on the internet is the Alloy Artifacts. So Alloy Artifacts will give you all the history that you'd ever want to know about the Robert wrench, and this is the self-adjusting pipe wrench, and this was made by Frederick Robert, 1922. And I'll pull the patent number if I can find it. They do have the patent number listed here. However, this wrench just says patent applied for. So anyway, thanks to the Alloy Artifacts webpage. It's a great one. If you haven't checked it, it's just a treat to read. Whoever puts that together does a really good job. But the other thing that I failed to do in that last video is I failed to sort of even demonstrate how this works. I just quickly went over and put it on a bolt and said, this is how it works. And it's not that there's that much to it, but it was warranted. It could warrant a better trial here. So anyway, the Robert wrench is interesting because it sort of does need two hands to operate. And if you can see that, it will start to overrun if you go in like this position. If you go towards the loose jaw, towards the non-fixed jaw, it's going to ratchet around the outside. However, it's got a pretty good biting action when you pull against the fixed jaw. So what that means is that in order to, if you wanted to tighten this up, ow, shit. Yeah, there's probably a reason why they didn't last very long. You'd have to flip this over. So, yeah. Anyway, that hurt. Anyway, so that's sort of how that works. It's not a very great demonstration, but it would adjust quickly to different sizes. But trying to work this with one hand, you can see, is problematic. One of the reasons I wasn't handling this last time was because I was waiting for the paint to dry, and then I was trying to decide on exactly what to cover this in. And in order to sort of help me figure out how to cover this, I had taken a piece of stock, and I'll paste in the video here of what this looked like initially. Alright, I sort of hit a snag in this project, so I had to touch up a piece of the paint there. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to start a project that was started as a result of a discussion between me and 357 Magdad. And this also touches on what Scout Crafter, by the time this video gets published, it'll be hard to tell how many videos will be out there now. But anyway, he had talked about using carnauba wax and things to preserve the paint. And I'll go through each one of these items eventually. But some of the paste wax, whether it be for automotive style or, pardon my reach, or we're going to use the furniture paste or the bow shield. And then 350 or Scoutcrafter has a mix of transmission fluid and mineral oil, and I just, I haven't gotten around to that yet. And, maybe I'll leave that. That's his concoction. And I don't know the exact, I think it's a 50-50 mix, but anyway, I'll leave that to the experts because I haven't used it yet. But I think what I'll do is a simple Project Farm inspired thing, because Project Farm, if you haven't seen it, go check out his channel. He really does a spectacular job reviewing products of various sorts. But anyway, this particular product test will be to test rust resistance, and I've got going to be a little break in my videos here for a couple days, so that'll be an opportunity for me to go ahead. I'm going to clean this up in the Media Blaster, then take it to the wire wheel, and then I'm going to sort of delineate the sections here and do, several different applications. And I'm going to put this outside in the weather and give it a week or 5 days or whatever it is, so that I can see some sort of a difference between each one of the products, and it'll be a little rust resistance test. So I will let this dry and go over and Media Blast this, and I'll bring you back when I'm taping it off. Alright, so here we are today. I think is the April 25th, and then I've got this is just polished. I've taken that to a relatively decent polish for a piece of cold rolled steel. You can see my fingers in there. So that's polished with the rubbing compound and nothing else. This is the control. This is silicone with Teflon. That's this stuff. Then I've got paste wax, the automotive grade paste wax. That's just regular Turtle Super Hard shell wax. Then I have a woodworker's wax, which is, the paste wax I just showed you. And then finally I've got the Bow Shield, which is the super expensive $3 an ounce stuff. And I'm going to take this out and put it in the weather. And it's supposed to rain quite a bit this weekend, so we'll put it out there and then come back to this next week sometime, and we'll see which one has protected this piece of metal the best. Alright, so that was last Friday, and here we are on the following Wednesday. And we can go from, this is the control, or this is the polish side, I'm sorry. So this had a pretty good sheen on it. This is control. This is absolutely nothing other than the media blasting. This is the silicone spray, which seemed to do a pretty good job. Here we have the Carnauba wax. This is the automotive style wax, and it's not ideal. And then moving over, pardon my reach here. Then we have the clear paste wax. That's this one. And then finally we have the Bow Shield. And the Bow Shield and the silicone spray have done the best. And that's a big surprise to me. I would have bet dollars to donuts that the paste wax would have been the winner of this bunch. However, the silicone Teflon and the Bow Shield seem to have done the best. What I did with this is that I decided to go ahead and coat this in the Bow Shield and let it dry on there for a couple days and then wipe it off. So I'm hoping that that's going to preserve this for quite a while. Anyway, that's the test that I did with this one. But anyway, now what I'm going to do is just do some time lapse fitting the correct pins in here. Hopefully these are the correct pins, and then end this video with this finished up properly. Alright, so again, I feel a little bit better now that I have that repaired correctly. And again, the wire tie stuff is pretty interesting. However, it wasn't a proper solution for here. But anyway, let me give you a quick demonstration on how that wire tie tool works also, because I sort of glossed over that. Alright, so the tool that I glossed over using last time with the high-speed photography was this Milbar safety twist wires, and these you'd see in aerospace industry kind of work, where they I think even my tractor out there has some fasteners that are wire tied in place, anywhere where there's a lot of vibrations, or where, you know, the loss of a nut or bolt or something would be catastrophic, you know, like in the sense of a jet turbine or something like that. So while I don't have a nut with a hole drilled in it or anything like that, you can get the idea of what these pliers do. If you can see, you've got this safety wire, and this safety wire is, you know, this happens to be a double-stranded, and they sell it in all sorts of gauges and makes and models. But what I'm going to do is squeeze this down and pull this lever back, if you can see that here. And I'm trying to get as much of this in the picture as I can, because I've got to try to split the difference between getting a close-up so you can see what's working, and also getting everything in the shot. So I've got this squeezed together here, and now this mechanism here is locked, and I've got it's holding both ends of the wire. And on the tailstock here, what I've got is this knurled knob that I'm going to pull on. Let me cut this out of the way so it's not banging the camera. So once I have everything, of course this is, and I just have this loosely hooked onto this bolt, and now I'm going to give this a twist, and you can see how that works. So now what I've done is I've twisted that up pretty nicely, and I guess if you were doing an entire airframe or something, doing this all day long, that would be a real time saver. I actually lent it to my neighbor, and he used it to wire tie rebar together as he expanded his driveway. So it does a nice job for this kind of stuff. It's not something that I do frequently. However, I look forward to wire tying stuff because it's a fun tool to use. So anyway, I'm going to, I guess this is going to sort of turn into a mashup too. One of the things that I noticed when I was working on the one of my other wrenches the other day is I do not have anything in my drawer that has soft jaws on it. And I put a lot of stock in Amazon reviews, and strangely enough, these Chinas, which make no qualms about being from Japan or China or whatever, were very highly rated. So I don't know anything about them. I'm just going to go on the reviews and use them. You'll see them on the channel. Nothing extraordinary, just your regular Chinese pliers, slip joint. Not particularly good tolerances or anything like that, but what I've been really reluctant to do lately, especially with the scale and with the what's wrong with me? I can't remember the other things that I did. Oh, the scale and then the Remington skeet thrower, was I had a couple instances where I needed to grab onto something and I wanted to not mar it up. So I think this will be nice to have and keep from messing up anything with a fine finish on it and whatnot. So we'll see how these last and how they hold in there. And it just seems to be a regular set of pliers with some plastic hook on the end. So anyway, that's the end of this the video. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll try not to rush through too many of these things. So thanks again, have a good night. Alright, so look what followed me home. This is my Greenbee surface grinder. It's got a magnetic chuck on it, a belt that definitely doesn't look factory. It's all jacked up now with the rope tied on it, but it seems to function fine. It's gonna need a real cleaning, but I'm not sure what the tolerances are like on this, but it was close to my work and I couldn't pass up the price, so anyway I picked it up. My problem now is I think it weighs somewhere in the order of 700, maybe 800 pounds. It took 4 pretty good sized guys, everything I had, and to get this up there. And, you know, I was one of those guys. And this thing is not light. It is a real beast. So I'm thinking that I should be able to use one of those endless slings and pick it up with the tractor and set it down on my pallet jack and get it into the back.